Welcome back, the rare and valuable coins. Today, we're diving deep into the world of Washington silver quarter. Dollar, but not just any dollars, we're talking about the ones that sold for thousands of dollars at auction, so let's get started. First up, the 1966 Washington silver quarter with no mint mark, in damaged condition. Although it's not in pristine shape, it still carries some historical value. So what is this coin worth in today's market? Let's dive in and find out. The 1966 Washington quarter was minted during a time of economic change in the United States. The mid-60s were marked by the booming post-World War II economy and a growing push for civil rights. In fact, 1966 was a year when the U.S. Treasury was beginning to grapple with the rising costs of coin production. This particular quarter was issued with no mint mark, meaning it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. The Washington Quarter series had been in circulation since 1932, and the 1966 version continued the tradition of honoring George Washington, the first president of the United States. On the obverse, we see the iconic portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan. His likeness has graced the quarter since the coin was first issued in 1932, and it remains one of the most recognizable portraits in American numismatics. On the reverse, the coin features an eagle, symbolizing strength and freedom. The eagle is clutching an olive branch and arrows, signifying peace and defense. The design has remained largely unchanged for decades, making the Washington quarter a staple in U.S. coinage. Now let's talk about the condition of this coin. This 1966 Washington silver quarter is in damaged condition, which means it shows signs of wear, scratches, discoloration, and possibly even some deep dents or gouges. Such damage usually occurs from circulation or mishandling over time. So what's the 1966 Washington silver quarter worth today in damaged condition? While the coin's value is lower due to the wear and damage, it's still valuable in the market. In damaged condition, this coin typically sells for $95,000. Keep in mind that damaged condition coins generally don't command the same premium as coins in higher grades, but they can still have some market value, especially if they are from a year or mint mark that's of interest to collectors. If this coin were in better condition, say extra fine or mint state, its value would be significantly higher, closer to $600 or more depending on the grade. But even with damage, this coin is still sought after by collectors who are looking to fill gaps in their collections. Even though this 1966 Washington silver quarter is in damaged condition, there are still collectors who find value in it. Some collectors are focused on completing a set of Washington quarters from various years, regardless of their condition. For others, the damage adds a story to the coin, showing how it was circulated and used. Next up, the 1970 Washington silver quarter without a mint mark, in extra fine condition. If you're curious about how much this classic coin is worth today, then stick around, because we're going to break it all down for you. The 1970 Washington silver quarter was minted at a time when the U.S. was experiencing significant historical events. The 1970s marked the end of the era of silver coinage in regular circulation, as the government transitioned to copper nickel-clad coins. This quarter, made of 90% silver, is part of a series that began in 1932 to honor George Washington, the first president of the United States. By 1970, however, the U.S. government had already begun removing silver from most circulating coinage due to the rising cost of the metal, with the Washington quarter becoming a key part of this transition. Now, let's take a look at the design features of this 1970 Washington quarter. On the obverse, we see the iconic portrait of George Washington, designed by artist John Flanagan. This image has graced the quarter since 1932 and remains one of the most recognizable depictions of Washington. The reverse of the quarter showcases an eagle, clutching an olive branch and arrows, a symbol of peace and strength. It's surrounded by the inscriptions United States of America, E pluribus unum and quarter dollar. Now let's talk about the condition of this coin. This 1970 Washington silver quarter is in extra fine condition. Coins in this grade show only very slight wear on the high points, and the details of Washington's portrait, the eagle, and the inscriptions are all clearly defined. It's a beautiful example of a coin that has been well cared for over the years. In extra fine condition, the coin will show very few signs of circulation, making it significantly more valuable than one in lower grades like good or fine condition. A coin in extra fine condition is a great find for any collector. So how much is the 1970 Washington silver quarter worth in today's market, especially in extra fine condition? Well, the value of this coin depends on a few factors, including its grade and the demand for silver quarters in the market. In extra fine condition, the 1970 Washington silver quarter can range from about $30,000. The price is influenced by its silver content, which makes it valuable for both collectors and those looking to invest in precious metals. Of course, the condition is a major factor in determining its value. While this coin may not fetch hundreds of dollars like some rarer editions of the Washington quarter, it still holds decent market value as a collector's item. Thanks to its silver content and historical significance, collectors are particularly interested in Washington quarters like the 1970 silver version, because it marks the end of the silver era for regular circulation coins. As such, it appeals to people who are trying to complete a set of Washington quarters or those who have a special interest in U.S. silver coinage. Next up, the 1995 Washington silver quarter, featuring the large date and P mint mark in dirty condition. If you've got one of these quarters or are curious about its market worth, then stick around to find out how much it's worth today. The 1995 Washington silver quarter was minted as part of the U.S. Mint's series of quarters featuring the famous portrait of George Washington. This particular coin, issued in 1995, is a clad quarter, meaning it's made from a copper-nickel mixture and not silver. However, it remains significant because it represents the continued tradition of honoring the nation's first president on the quarter. By 1995, the U.S. Mint had already moved away from silver coinage, but these quarters are still a popular choice among collectors because they represent an era where Washington's legacy was celebrated on the coin. Let's take a closer look at the design of the 1995 Washington quarter. On the obverse, we see George Washington's portrait, designed by John Flanagan. This design has been the hallmark of the quarter since 1932. Washington is depicted in profile, facing left, with the inscriptions Liberty, In God We Trust, and the year of mintage in this case, 1995. On the reverse of the quarter, we see an image of a majestic eagle clutching an olive branch and arrows, symbolizing peace and strength. Surrounding the eagle are the inscriptions, United States of America, E pluribus unum, and $quarter. Now let's talk about the condition of this particular coin. The 1995 Washington silver quarter in this video is in dirty condition, meaning it has visible dirt grime or tarnish that can be found on the surface. While these coins are still recognizable, the wear and dirt significantly affect their overall appearance. Coins in dirty condition generally show signs of extended circulation or poor storage, which impacts their aesthetic appeal. While not ideal for collectors seeking pristine examples, coins in dirty condition still have value, especially if they are sought after for their historical significance or scarcity. So, what's the market value of the 1995 Washington silver quarter in dirty condition today? Well, in dirty condition, the value can be somewhat lower than those in higher grades like extra fine or uncirculated. As of today, a 1995 Washington quarter in dirty condition would likely be valued anywhere between $1,000. This price is largely driven by its silver content and the general demand for these quarters among collectors and silver investors. Despite being in dirty condition, the 1995 Washington silver quarter still attracts interest from collectors. Coins like these are often sought after for completing collections, especially if they are part of a set of quarters from different years, or a series honoring Washington collectors, often buy these quarters not only because of their design and history, but also because they contain silver, a precious metal that holds value over time. Even in less than perfect condition, the 1995 Washington quarter could be a great addition to a collection of silver coins. Next up, the 1982 Washington silver quarter, featuring the large date and D mint mark, in dirty condition. If you've come across one of these, or are curious about its value in today's market, keep watching. The 1982 Washington silver quarter was minted as part of the U.S. Mint's ongoing effort to honor George Washington, the first president of the United States. This particular coin, made of copper nickel-clad, features a large date and the D Mint mark, indicating it was produced at the Denver Mint. Though the coin itself isn't made from pure silver, it's part of the Washington Quarter series, which has been in production since 1932. The 1982 Washington Quarter is part of the regular coinage at the time, but with the large date design, it's a coin that collectors find intriguing. Let's break down the design of the 1982 Washington Silver Quarter. The obverse of the coin features a portrait of George Washington, designed by artist John Flanagan. This classic image shows Washington in profile facing left, with the inscriptions, "Liberty, in God we trust," and the year of mintage in this case, 1982. On the reverse, we have a striking image of an eagle, with its wings spread wide, grasping an olive branch and arrows. This design, created by Herman A. McNeil, symbolizes the strength and peace of the United States. Surrounding the eagle are the inscriptions, "United States of America," "E pluribus unum," and "$quarter now." Let's discuss the condition of the 1982 Washington Quarter. This particular coin is in dirty condition, which means it has visible dirt grime or tarnish on the surface. You can see some discoloration and other signs of wear, which might make it look less shiny compared to a freshly minted coin. While dirty condition coins may not be as visually appealing to collectors, they still hold value, especially if they are sought after for their rarity year or mint mark. Dirt or tarnish doesn't necessarily destroy the coin's value, but it can affect its overall appeal, especially when compared to coins in higher grades like mint state or proof. So, what's the market value of the 1982 Washington Silver Quarter with D Mint mark in dirty condition today? Well, due to the dirty condition, the value is lower than coins in better condition. As of now, a 1982 Washington Quarter in this state is generally valued at around $400. The coin's value is influenced by a few factors, including the condition, the mint mark, and its metal content. Though this coin isn't made from pure silver, it still carries a nominal value due to the copper nickel-clad composition, as well as its historical and collectible appeal. Even in dirty condition, the 1982 Washington Silver Quarter still attracts interest from collectors. Many collectors are after quarters from different years to complete their sets, and the D Mint mark adds to the uniqueness of this particular coin. Collectors often buy these coins as part of their Washington Quarter series, and they may also be interested in the coin for its mint mark and potential historical value. For those looking to complete their Washington series or accumulate specific mintage years, even a coin in dirty condition can still find a place in their collection. Next up, the 1977 Washington Silver Quarter, which features no mint mark, in good condition. We'll explore its historical significance, its design, and most importantly, what it's worth in today's market. So, let's get started. The 1977 Washington Silver Quarter is part of a series that has been honoring George Washington, the first president of the United States, since 1932. In the late 1970s, the U.S. Mint continued to produce these iconic quarters, featuring the same design that's become synonymous with Washington's legacy. This particular coin was minted in 1977, a year marked by economic change and significant cultural milestones. Unlike the earlier Washington quarters made from 90% silver, the 1977 quarters were made with a copper nickel-clad composition, a change that occurred in 1965. Still, these quarters carry value as a piece of U.S. history, and the 1977 version continues to intrigue collectors. Let's take a closer look at the design features of this quarter. On the obverse, we see a classic portrait of George Washington, facing left. This was designed by artist John Flanagan, and it's the same design that has appeared on Washington quarters since 1932. Surrounding the image are the words, "Liberty in God we trust," and the year 1977. On the reverse of the coin, we have the depiction of an eagle with its wings spread wide, holding arrows and an olive branch. The reverse design was created by Herman A. McNeil, and it symbolizes peace and strength. You'll also see the inscriptions, "United States of America," "E pluribus unum," and $quarter. Now, let's talk about the condition of this coin. The 1977 Washington quarter we're focusing on is in good condition. A coin in good condition typically has some wear and tear, but it retains most of its design features. The coin may show signs of handling, such as light scratches, or some flattening of details, but it still remains a collectible item for enthusiasts. The coin's edges may have some wear, and the design on both sides might appear a bit softened due to circulation. However, the overall integrity of the coin is still intact, making it appealing to collectors who appreciate the history behind it. Now, let's get to the big question. What is the 1977 Washington quarter worth today in good condition? Well, its value isn't as high as some of the rarer or older Washington quarters, but it still holds some worth currently, a 1977 Washington quarter. In good condition is typically valued between $4 and $6 in today's market. The value can fluctuate slightly depending on demand, the specific condition of the coin, and the place where it's sold. Since the 1977 quarter was part of the regular circulation coins, it's not considered rare or scarce. However, collectors still seek out these coins for their historical value, especially for those building sets of Washington quarters. While the 1977 Washington silver quarter might not be the most valuable coin out there, it still attracts interest from collectors, especially those looking to complete their Washington quarter series or who collect coins from different mintage years. For many collectors, completing a collection of Washington quarters from every year is a big goal. Even though the 1977 quarter may not be rare, it's still a significant piece for those looking to add variety to their collection. Next up, the 1980 Washington Silver Quarter, featuring the D mint mark and in very fine condition. We'll explore the coin's history, design features, and most importantly, its current value in today's market. Let's dive right in. The 1980 Washington Silver Quarter is part of a long-standing series of quarters featuring George Washington, the first President of the United States. This quarter was minted in 1980, a year marked by economic challenges like high inflation and unemployment rates. But for coin collectors, the 1980 Washington Quarter represents a key piece of American history. Now let's talk about the design. On the obverse of the coin, we see a classic portrait of George Washington, created by artist John Flanagan. This design has been used on Washington quarters since 1932, and it shows Washington facing left. Surrounding his image are the words, "Liberty, in God we trust," and the year 1980. On the reverse side, we have the iconic eagle, with its wings spread wide, clutching arrows and an olive branch. This reverse design, created by Herman A. McNeil, symbolizes strength and peace. You'll also see the inscriptions United States of America, E pluribus unum, and quarter dollar. Let's now take a look at the condition. The 1980 Washington quarter we're discussing today is in very fine condition. This means the coin has experienced some circulation, but the details of George Washington's portrait and the eagle on the reverse are still clearly visible and sharp. There may be some light wear, but the overall design remains strong, and the coin retains much of its original luster. So, what's the value of a 1980 Washington silver quarter with the D mint mark in very fine condition today? This quarter is not a rare coin, but its value is determined by factors such as its condition, demand among collectors, and its overall scarcity in certain conditions. Currently, in very fine condition, the 1980 Washington quarter typically values between $500 in today's market. It's worth noting that if the coin were in higher grades, such as extra fine or uncirculated, its value would be higher. But even in very fine condition, this coin is still an affordable yet valuable piece for collectors. Despite the fact that the 1980 Washington quarter is not among the rarest coins, it still holds collector interest. Many collectors focus on completing a set of Washington quarters from different years, including those from the 1980s. This quarter, being part of that series, makes it appealing to collectors who are building their collections year by year. In conclusion, the 1980 Washington silver quarter with the D mint mark, in very fine condition, is worth between $800 in today's market. While it's not a high-value coin, it's a fantastic addition for collectors seeking to complete a Washington quarter series or those interested in coins from this period of U.S. history. If you have any 1980 Washington quarters, or any other interesting coins you'd like to share, drop a comment below. And if you want to learn more about rare and valuable coins, don't forget to subscribe to Valuable Coins for more in-depth videos like this one. Thanks for watching, and happy collecting!